morning, sir.
How are you feeling? Good to be here. So at the outset, I would like to thank BCLO Academy for inviting me, and more specifically Dr. Srivastava. Thank you, madam, for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here and interact with the participants. Well, I would have a statistics background, but in our research paper, we use a lot of statistics, all kind of statistics. Now we use advanced statistics. And most of the calculations that I used to do when I was a PhD student with my hand and using a scientific calculator. But now you have PCs, right? And which can do your job in a minute. So things have changed, and we also need to embrace ourselves, update ourselves with the changes that is happening in the field. And data science and data analytics is very important field for me. Okay? If you want to be a good professional, relevant, not only for the industry but even in academics, you have to be good as a marine professional. Then you have to learn some kind of data analysis, right? Whether you are working in marketing, HR, production, finance, any field, isn't it? So I think this program on this emerging trend in business analytics for data-driven decision is a very timely one. And in my inaugural lecture, I would like to introduce you with different kind of techniques and tools which have been used. One thing that I would like to request to all of you, please don't be a silent spectator, right? You can interact as much as possible. You can stop me at any point of time when you think that okay, this point needs to be discussed more. I need more clarification. I am always ready. To the best of my knowledge, I will try to explain that. Okay, so I am going to talk about this data analytics and how it is helping businesses to succeed in a changing environment. Today, a lot of changes are happening in the business environment. Technology is changing. The way businesses are competing has changed. A lot of changes are happening in the business landscape. And one of the strategies that organizations can use or can go for is that they have huge data with them, but they don't know how to utilize the data for the benefit of their organization. Okay? And as a researcher, as an academician, you should also be able to help businesses to know that how data analytics can be a useful tool for them. Right? I think most of you are business management professionals, right? Even when you are doing say research, you might be using certain statistical tools. I think all of us are using that. Okay. So you should be good at it. It's not that you have a computer and a software and they're doing the job. But when I ask many students, what does it mean? You have calculated correlation and regression, but how are you going to interpret it? I think many of them do not understand how they are going to explain the results. This becomes a big problem in many institutions, including mine. Okay. So as a researcher, as a professional, we have to ensure that we understand how data analytics, not only the tools and techniques that we apply, but how it can benefit business in a big way. Okay. So I'm just going to introduce this concept of data and analytics and how it is going to affect business. What is the data? How would you define data?
Data is a raw entity.
It could be structured, it could be structured. For example, if I say the number of participants in the class, here, right? That is also a data. If we organize them in different categories, how many males are there, how many females are there, from which state they have come, from which college they have come, right? So what we are doing, we are organizing that data, isn't it? So data could be structured or unstructured, but data itself does not help doing anything. Okay? So what you need to do is you have to see that how this raw data can be used, analyzed and interpreted, so that we are going to make some useful decisions for your business, for your organization. And now you can see this, see how this is going to help you for all kind of things. I've given some examples here. To be more efficient, to be more innovative, maybe managing risk, or maybe you want to introduce a new product or market. You know what most of the companies do when they want to introduce a new product in the market?
They go market research.
They do go for market research. What happens in market research?
They are collecting the data.
They are collecting data, analyzing the data to know the customer taste, preferences, behavior. Isn't it? So it is related to data. So data is going to help them to find out whether they have a market for a product or not. And then they are going to launch it. Right? So in all areas, you are going to utilize data for different activities. So, what is data analytics? It's a key tool businesses use to discover patterns with large datasets. See, there are huge amount of data that is available today with any organization, including academic institutions. Right? But the problem is that most of these institutions and industries have not been able to make use of this data for more productive purposes. Right? Another important thing is that whatever data you have to see that it is relevant. Relevant in the sense it can be used. Right? So most of the time you find that old data is being replaced by the new data. Right? Because the old data is not relevant. It's not critical data. So you need to see that you have updated your data so that you can make use of it. Right? And you are able to collect data. When you are doing research, what happens? Once you are able to identify the problem, the next step what we do? When you go for data collection, for your research, when you identify a problem, okay, I am going to work on this particular problem. Okay? Then you also define from whom you are going to collect data. Right? You develop a go for a survey questionnaire, you develop an instrument for collecting data. Right? And then you collect data from those who really matter for your study. Right? So what I am trying to tell you that you are going to collect data from different sources, different locations. And for our research, we collect data from different sources, different locations. And basically this data can help you if you are able to analyze it. What had happened in the past? What is going to happen in the future? Let me give you an example. In IIT, you know, the number of students that we used to have, especially the girl students, were less. Right? Because of the technical things, not many girl students were interested to be in the engineering field. Not only it was around 20%. 20% male, 20% female students we used to have. Okay. And we analyzed this data for the past 5 years, 10 years, but how the number is going, whether the number is going up or down. So once looking at the trend, we analyze this data, then we are able to find out what to be done so that we are able to attract more girl students in engineering. Okay. So any action that you are going to take is possible only if you are able to align the data, identify the pattern of the trend, right? And then you are going to act upon it. So that you can see that whether your actions are going to help you to do the things that is desirable. Like for example, in our case, we are able to take up certain actions, and because of which we are able to increase the number of girl students by taking certain positive actions, creating quota superannuation, quota for the girl students. We have been able to increase the number of students, and they are doing well. For that, we have selected them. They are not doing well. So, when businesses can analyze the data, pass data, and then quantify what kind of traits are there. And there are a lot of statistical tools today available which can help in this process. How the data is going? Use data. See, this is the quantum growth of data you can see, right? From kilobyte to gigabyte, terabyte, and many of the terms even I did not know. I just search this and find out these are the terms that will be used for data. So if you look at corporate data, you know that this is one of the most critical assets for the company. The data that you have related to the customer base, the products, right? All kind of data that can be used. And if you look at the growth of the data is increasing like anything, right? If you look at the last statement, which says that the data generated in the last 3 years is equivalent to last 30 years. Means that you are getting more and more data now. And it has become very difficult to manage this data, this amount of data, large amount of data that is being created. You don't need to write anything. I think these PPT would be given to all of you. Okay. See how organizations are using big data analytics. Research came from data first. Now you can see that for different domains it is being used. For marketing, IT people are using this data, R&D, sales, supply chain, finance people, customer services, HR. So all areas of our domain of organizations are using this kind of things. Right? Yeah. Next question is whether data and information is same. When data is converted into information. When the data is organized in a structured way, right? Then it becomes information. Because raw data is not that useful unless you are able to organize them into to make it more meaningful. So that you can at least look at the data and can find out, oh, this is what the situation is. Right. For example, I say, okay, there are 50 students in the class. But if I say, okay, there are 20 students, 20 male students, 30 with female students, right? So this is the information. So categorizing them based on text. You can also categorize them based on other variables, right? Then from the location from where they are coming, right? What is their socio-economic status? What is their age? So these are the variables based on which you are going to organize the data to make it more meaningful, because it makes sense to organize the data so that you can interpret it. Right? Yeah.
In the previous slide, you mentioned that market department is using 14% data. What does it mean actually?
Means that the amount of data that is being used is only up to 20%. It means that only 20% organizations are using sales data. This is I think from 2018, the number might have gone up. So the data becomes information, right? When it is presented in a particular form, for example, if you have raw data and you make a pie chart, I make a graph, right? So if you are going to present a graph, it means that you have organized the data by categorizing them into a meaningful way. Now the next stage is knowledge. What does it mean? You are moving from information to knowledge. Earlier we used to say that information is power, right? But now we say that knowledge is power. Information is not power. What does it mean? How you are going to make use of that information for performing certain activities, right? For example, you want to make use of that knowledge, sorry, information, to take certain decisions, act upon it. For example, you are looking at the sales trend for the last 5 years and you find that the sales is going down. You create the graph of the sales and that shows that there is a declining trend. That is the information. So next stage what happens? Whether you are going to make use of that information to act upon so that you are able to perform certain things in order to increase your sales next year. So the data that is, the information that you have organized or interpreted, once it is used to act, then it becomes what you call knowledge. That is the next stage. Even organized data does not help you unless you are able to make use of it. Act upon it. Right? And finally we have wisdom. What is wisdom? Based on the action, whether you are able to contemplate, evaluate, go for introspection, whether you have done the right kind of thing, whether your strategy to increase the sales has really been good and whether your sales has gone up. Right? So that is actually what we call wisdom. Okay? So that is where you go for contemplation, evaluation, introspection, and introspection. Looking at the back and then now. And then you compare what kind of changes it has brought. Okay? Okay. The question that most of the business leaders are, and we are students and researchers, is that they put a lot of data, mountains of data. The problem is, we don't know what to do with that. For different activities, whether we think it's going to help us to increase the sales or improve our product. Right? So what we need to do is bridge this gap between the data and the business users to ensure using tools and techniques of data analysis so that which is going to help business users to increase the sales. All kind of activities. See. So we need to bridge this gap, and that is where the problem is. Right? Can you use this data that is there in your repositories for different business activities to retain customers, to increase your sales, or to make your products better? Right? And what is going to help you is the data analysis, the tools of the data analysis. Right. What are the challenges with the data? You use data, but all the data is not relevant or useful. Variety of data in the organization. Whether you are able to make use of all of them, or whether all of them are going to be useful or not. Velocity in terms of value. Velocity and value. I mean the intensity and the value of the data is too much. Right? One of the surveys which was conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers that if you are able to sort out your data properly and you are going to analyze the data, then it is going to help you 3 times better in taking decisions. The problem is that for most of the organizations, this increase in the data is used almost 40%. Growth in data is happening every year. So managing that kind of data is also important. That we talk about data mining, data warehousing. Okay, we will deposit all the data related to the organizations. The idea is to ensure that you are able to make use of that data. You are able to mine the data. Data mining means you are able to extract relevant data from the data warehouse. In simple terms. we need a framework for data analysis? How we go about it? Data analytics is very structured, and you also need to ensure that it is going to help you solve the problems. So what is to be done? The focus should be on outcome. What kind of results this data is going to provide to you, which is going to be useful. If you are analyzing data without a purpose, it does not make sense. Right? When you are doing research, what happens? We collect data, we analyze them for what? To see whether our hypothesis that we have framed earlier is correct or not. You test the hypothesis. Can you give me one example? Anyone of you?
Suppose we take it the dose, medicinal doses,
Uh.
we have to analyze the dose, how to take the dose, and it is benefit for us or not. We can take analysis, the doses is correctly where we take it or not. In a hypothesis state. For this, we have to
Collect data
collect data.
from the patients who are taking medicines
Yes, sir.
and how it is going to affect their health.
And day by day.
So you want to see whether proper intake of medicine is going to improve the health of the patient or not.
Yes, sir.
Suppose this data that you have collected tell you that it is not improving the health. Then
So we have to change the doses or changes the doses in a
it means
right
the
way.
hypothesis that you had made earlier
Yes, sir.
is not correct. So either the medicine that you are giving is not correct or the dosage is not
Not correct.
proper. So think about the change. Okay. So what I am trying to tell you that you should focus on the outcome. For enabling actions, decisions and identify where you are going to generate the value. Whether the medicine that you are giving is effective or not. Or the doses, the pattern of doses that is provided is effective or not. So if it is not, then you are going to change. And that is the decision that you are taking based on analysis of the data. That's what I am trying to tell you. Okay. So whether in business or in academics, we are using data. So we can conclude that yes, you have ultimately to ensure that any data analytics leads to actionable insight and business insights. So you should be able to act upon it, right? And you need to ensure that it is going to help you in some way, either improving your decision making, right, cost cutting, or increasing efficiency, or whatever it is. So these are the four important things that we go for: discovery, insights, decisions, and outcomes. That is what happens. That is presented in the next one. At the first scale, what happens? You are going to define the problem. It could be related to academics, it could be related to business. For example, you can define the problem as customer retention, customer satisfaction, decline in the sales, right? Your profit is stagnated, there's no growth in the profit of the business, or you're not even able to retain customers, or even your employee retention could be a problem, right? So suppose we take this problem of employee retention. You know that many employees are leaving the organization, and that's why your activities in the organization is suffering. So what to do with that? How you can stop or reduce employee turnover in your organization?
First we have to find out the problem, where is the problem.
Okay. So the problem is the retaining the employees. And why going to work on it?
Because I have to reduce the turnover.
Implied turnover is to be reduced so that your work is not affected. Because you need at least a minimum number of employees to work. Isn't it? I've seen in many management institutions also, retaining good faculty has become a good job. Right? Isn't it? No, not only in your institution but even IITs also. This has become a problem. Because a lot of new opportunities are available. So once you are able to identify the problem, you are able to work on it. Engage stakeholders for perspectives and concerns. Now the question is whether your management is really concerned about this or not. If it is concerned, then you will look into the problem, otherwise not. So your managers, your owners are really interested to ensure that yes, we should be able to reduce the turnover, employee turnover, so that productivity is not going to suffer. Then the next stage you are going to develop certain hypotheses. Answer what is likely to happen if employees are leaving your operation. In what way it is going to affect the organization?
It will affect the organization goodwill also.
It would increase instability, right? Instability, productivity. When morale of those who are staying back, right?
So if we hire a new employee, we have to teach them how to.
The placement cost is very high.
Yes.
Yeah. Replacement, that formula is replacement cost. Because one trained employee is leaving and you are hiring another employee. So you have to training. So this replacement cost is going to be high. It will take maybe 6 months to understand the processes. Yes. Yeah, quality may also be. So a lot of problems may be there. Because trained employees are leaving. So based on the information, the literature and other sources, what you do next? You try to find out those factors which is related to implied turnover. Why implied turnover? Isn't it? Why? Is it because of the HR policies, pay promotions and these kind of things? It is because of the boss, the supervisors, or the management. There could be a number of factors because of which employment. It could be personal reasons also. For example, I am working here, my spouse is working somewhere else. So definitely we like to be together, work at one place. So you can identify these factors into individual factors, institutional factors, management related factors. Right? Because of which employees leave an organization and join another organization. So based on this literature and your insight and experience, you develop certain hypotheses. For example, you can say that HR policies is related to employee turnover. So you are going to make two kind of hypotheses, you know that, right? What are the two kind of hypotheses? Okay, null hypothesis. What would be right in null hypothesis for this problem? That HR policy is not related. Implied. Then we also write alternate hypothesis is related. Now, based on your literature and experience, you are going to say whether it is positively or negatively. Right? So you can make any kind of hypothesis. This is known as directional hypothesis. This is non-directional hypothesis. Non-directional means that you are going to collect data and based on your interpretation, you are going to say whether it is related or not related. But if you are sure that HR policy is negatively related, then you can make this kind of analysis. And then you collect data on both employee alone, HR policies of the organization, right? Analyze the data and interpret whether it is related or not. Okay? So once you develop the hypothesis, right, then you move to the next stage, that is data collection. In data collection stage, what happens? You are going to collect data on HR policies, and you are also going to collect data on employee cost. So who could be the respondents who are leaving the organization? From them you are going to collect data, find out whether they are leaving it because of the HR policies. You can make other hypotheses also. For example, they say no, HR policy is good but his supervisor is not. Right? So the next hypothesis is H1A, this could be H2. Right? You can make number of hypotheses, not just one hypothesis, because these are factors which you relate with implied. Right? So once you have made the number of hypotheses, you are going to collect data. Collect relevant internal data and also external data. For example, you are collecting data from employees who are leaving. What could be external data in this case?
Better automation.
No, what is the current trend of employees? In the industry where you are working. Because if you find that okay, almost 10% employee turnover is there normally in this industry, and if 10% in your organization are leaving, it is not a big concern. But if 20% are leaving, it definitely becomes a concern. Because that is not the industry average, more than the industry average. You know that most of the IT industry has already accepted that yes, 15 to 20% say turnover is normal. But if it is 30% to 40%, you know the last year, many organizations, this was the trend. Then it was a matter of concern. And that is where they brought a lot of changes in HR policies to ensure that they are able to employ the retained employees. You know that many people were leaving organizations because they were not allowed to work from home.
After COVID.
After COVID, yes. So what happened? What kind of policy changes they brought in? They moved to hybrid form. Okay, for a few days you can work from home. Few days you can work from home. So this is an action which was taken based on the information. Because the moment you say, okay, you have to come to the office, the next day they are putting their distributors. In most of the big IT companies, this will happen. Because there were a lot of opportunities available for them outside. And they were ready to offer them work from home facilities. Right? I mean, today also many organizations go for hybrid, many of them don't go for it. When companies like TCS, which are very rigid, no, you have to come to office every day, has changed their policy. Right? Because they are losing people. Okay? So this collect data. Okay? Now you have data. What is the next stage? Insight. That is where explore data sets to understand how it is going to help you to accept or recruit the hiring process. Suppose you have collected data from 200 employees and you find that it is not HR policy which is important. HR policy is good, but this role of supervisor is different. Many people are living it because of supervisor. It's a hypothetical case. Okay? So, you are not going to change this. You are going to see that what is to be done with the supervisors. Are going to train them in interpersonal relationship, communication, so they can become better leaders, better supervisors. to handle their subordinates, right? So what I'm trying to tell you that at this stage of exploration, you see whether your data is going to help you to see that whatever factors that you will get able to identify is you are able to relate them with the hypothesis. So the next stage you are going to analyze. What kind of data analytic tools we have? Both qualitative and quantitative. Right? Depending upon the kind of data that you have collected. For example, you know that many organizations conduct exit interviews. Have you heard about it? When if any person is resigning, then the HR will call them and conduct an interview. Since they are already leaving, so they ask them what are the various reasons because of which you are leaving. So the data that is generated is more qualitative. But if you are using a survey questionnaire to collect data on HR policies, whether it is good or not, right? So you are using quantitative. So you use both qualitative and quantitative. I think you have a number of experts from ISI and other places, and they are going to teach you these techniques. Okay? So you are going to use these techniques of data analysis either to validate or refuse the hypothesis. Okay? And then you are going to convert your output of this analysis. For example, suppose you are conducting a t-test for correlation or regression, and you find that yes, this is not significantly predicting this one, but this is significantly predicting. You are using certain regression models. Regression, you know, is a technique for prediction. Okay? And you say that okay, supervisor is a significant variable which is predicting implied term. Okay? So you have used a statistical technique. Okay? Now, based on this, you are going to say what are the important factors. Suppose you identify 4 or 5 factors from here, and you also conduct qualitative interviews. So you can also mix both qualitative and quantitative data to create an insight. Okay, these are the factors because of which employees are employed. Right? So that is what we call the insight. Then you are going to link this insight, the action part. Are you going to take certain interventions, act upon it based on the information that you have received from the data? Right? That is what we call what we call as linking data with the insights. Right? Where you are looking at the past, you are going to predict the future landscape. Okay? And you can also use this insights with certain metrics, right? And what kind of loss is going to happen if you are going to lose your employees. What kind of cost is going to incur in recruitment, replacements, right? Training. These are HR metrics that you can identify based on the data. Okay, based on this we have identified that okay, if you are losing 100 employees, what would be the cost? HR cost. Right? So you can create separate metrics for HR, for processes also, depending upon the area in which you are working. For example, production operations, look at that. For example, you want to know if the number of say percentage of rejects are more, how to reduce and improve the quality of the product. Then you are taking a different problem. Third, suppose you know that your sales is going down. But definitely you go through all the processes of identifying the problem, developing hypotheses, collecting data, analyzing them, right? Exploring the data, analyzing them, and then whatever insights you are getting, You are making use of that data or make decisions. And then recommendations. What kind of actions that you are going to take based on this information. Then you go for taking certain actions, large part, and after the follow, you see whether the things are improved or not. It's not that you have taken an action and now you are sure that it will be okay. The quality will be good, our employees are not going to leave us, sales are going to improve. It's not the case. Based on your actions and decisions that you have taken related to the analysis of the past data, again you are going to see and compare your data of employee turnover before the action and after the action. Only then you can say that yes, it is good. When you find that yes, you have been able to do well, then it means that your actions were right, okay, and it has added value to the business. Otherwise, not. Correct? It's clear to you now? Yeah. What are the different kind of analytics that we use? You don't need right, we will get there on the slides. Okay? So please try to participate in the interaction. So these are the different kind of analytics: descriptive, diagnostics, predictive. We just talked about these things. Descriptive means we are going to define the problem. Okay, what is happening, right? Diagnostics, why it is happening? Why sales is going on? Why employees are late? Why quality is not good? So that kind of analysis. Then predictive, what would happen in the future? Okay. And then prescriptive, what should be done? Actions. And finally, you have adaptive autonomous analytics. How to go for a change. So the brief analysis I am providing here. Sorry. These are the four type of, mainly four: descriptive, diagnostics, prescriptive, and predictive. Autonomous analytics is basically that is where you are using this artificial intelligence. AI. That I will talk about later. That today you know that lot of modeling is being done using algorithm, deep learning, machine learning, right? And they are going to tell you what is to be done. Okay. But mostly it is four types. Okay. Adaptive is basically when you are going to use AI tools. Okay. So first stage basically you are describing past events. You collect the data, right? Or find the data from the repository. Try to summarize it to identify the. For example, if you have last 5 years data of employee turnovers and you show them through a graph, it is a descriptive tool, right? So that it will show you, okay, what is happening, whether there is a decline or whether there is a growth, right? Diagnostic analysis, as I told you, why? Basically, they try to find out anomalies and they go for additional data, right, to identify the causal relationship. Causal relationship, that why it is happening. But could be various factors which could be responsible for this state of things, right? So you can, for diagnostic, you can use probabilistic theories, regression, filtering, and time series data. These are the techniques. Well, I am not a professor in statistics, but you have to work people who are going to talk about these things. But these are the techniques that could be used for the diagnosis. Then you have predictive analytics. Estimate future outcomes using historical data, the past data, and probability theory. To tell the business when or something is most likely to happen. What will happen? If you do not take corrective action, then maybe after 10 years, what would they state after this? What is likely to happen? So it actually provides you data-driven insights of business. So once you are able to use these different kind of say models, regression models, okay, that actually helps you to identify the cause effect relationship. So predictive analytics is nothing else. Can I write it out? And right below is the cause. And there would be a number of factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So actually predictive analytics is going to tell you out of these 4 factors, how many of them are significantly related or associated with this likelihood. For example, you find that 3 and 4 is not. The regression coefficient is not significant. So and you say that 1, 2, 3, these 3 actually contribute to likelihood. Okay. Most of the regression models, basically, most of the regression analysis, I mean, there are a number of regression models. Okay. Simple, multiple, okay. Linear, hierarchical, a lot of models are there. And based on that, what happens when you are able to find out the relevant variables, you can take certain decisions. You see what is to be done with these 3 factors, how to reduce their impact so that implies no take. Right? Then finally we have prescriptive analytics, which says that how to achieve the goals. It means how are we going to make use of this data to ensure that we are able to reduce. So in predictive analytics, we are able to identify those factors. In prescriptive, we are going to identify. Right? Which course of action to take? So we go for optimization, simulation models, decision making algorithms, a number of techniques that is available today. And it provides actionable insights to optimize processes, improve decision making, and increase your efficiency. It's clear? These are the benefits. How businesses are going to drive benefits from analytics. These are the common, you can say, benefits like improved decision making, efficiency goes up, better customer experience, and it helps you to gain competitive advantage. Let's take another example. You find out, okay, the sales of certain products are going up. Right? So you go through all the processes of discovery, insights, actions, and find out, okay, these are the factors which are responsible, or may be responsible. So you collect data, and then you find that, okay, the quality of your product, there are 2 important things that actually is working. That is quality okay. These 3 things are important to compete in the market. Quality, features, and price. Once you come to know, you are going to act upon it. You are going to take certain actions so that you are able to make sure that your quality is standard compared to other products, other competitors. You also try to add more features, make it more innovative, what other companies are offering. Look at any organization, see how competitive they have become. See, let me give one example. Apple and Samsung. How they are competing with each other in the market. Yeah? It is one of the isn't it? Both. Apple is not going for price. They have a different skill. They go for differentiation than cost, right? Right? But also other products like Xiaomi. But what is their strategy? Offering
more features.
more features with less price. They are also successful, right? And they are competing with Apple and Samsung. If you want a good quality phone, relatively good quality, and let's say that it's comparable with Samsung or Apple, then you go for the same one, right? Why would you buy a phone for 1 lakh rupees when the same thing can be done using a 20,000 or 15,000 rupees phone? It's all a game, right, of price and quality that you are offering to the markets. And that is where they go for market research. Conducting surveys from the customers, identifying the expectations, and retaining customers is a big problem today for any industry, right? So, how gain competitive advantage is very important. And that is where data analytics can help you in the process. See, how forecasting is slightly different than predictive models. These are the examples. When you use a forecasting techniques, okay, look at this example. How many ice cream cones will be sold in July? So you can set expectation of plant cost, profit, supply, and other predictive models. It is going to tell you the characteristics of ideal ice cream customers, the flavors they will choose, and coupon offers that will ice cream. Right? That is where these forecasting techniques differ from the predictive models. When you are going to use them? For different activities. When you are going to create a product, sorry. Okay, so I think we need to have a break for 5 minutes. Data in the context of business. Data analytics in the context of business, and that is what we call business analytics. Okay. So this is done at 3 levels. You can see here with information and knowledge discovery, decision support systems, and career support systems, and also go for database. So you have different kind of things here like OLAP. You know what OLAP is? Political processing. Online analytical processing basically. Queries and reports, data mining, text mining. Text mining, have you heard about text mining? It's a qualitative technique. For example, you are collecting data from Facebook. Right?
So
Data.
basically using machine learning techniques.
Yes, we are using machine learning techniques. Today we are using machine learning techniques. Yes. For text mining. So there are certain codes to see whether this code is fitting with the data that you are collecting on the
Sir, what is the difference between text mining and tokenization?
What?
Text mining and tokenization.
In tokenization, basically we create certain tokens, okay, what you call categories, and try to see that whether the data text that is available is going to fit into one of the norms. Basically, you are creating categories. Okay. So these tokens are assumed to start with. So you identify, okay, these are the tokens, and then the data belong to which category, which token. Okay. So then you have decision support system. I will briefly actually look at some of them, not all of them. Not possible because the line up a number of guests who will be talking about them more detail. So I will basically talk about one thing that is very important today is online medical processing. With an example, it is also a tool for data analysis. Okay. So you can view the data in different ways and analyze it differently. It is used for reporting and analysis. So you create a multi-dimensional structure, you can see here. You can model and view the data in multiple dimensions. You can see it actually creates a group. So there are three different dimensions: in time, products, and the geography. So it creates a multi-dimensional group where you can see what is happening to them. So how it works, you can see here. Your data source, various data source, the data goes to the warehouse, and from there it goes to the queue. And then there are queries by different users, and they can get the data from there, from the data. Then we have decision support system. I think if you have been a management student, you know about DSS, right? In computer science, information management. MIS is super kind of MIS actually. Better than MIS, okay? It's an extension of what we call MIS. It's a computer-based information system that supports business in decision-making activities. Okay, you can see here, we have a data. Okay. It is done by computer, the data is processed by the computer using certain quantitative techniques, which actually the outcome is reports, models, results. Right? Then this could be used by people from different areas, right? From HR, accounting, production, marketing, distribution. And based on that information, they are going to take certain decisions. Right? This is what we call decision support. Three things are important here: the user interface with the data, the context and the user criteria who can use it, and the database and the model that you are using for analyzing the data. Right? So inputs are numbers, characteristics that you are going to use to analyze the data. So you will, the inputs are requiring mentally answered by the user. Output is transform data. That is this one, information. Decisions are generated by DSS based on the user criteria for which purpose you want to make it. Basically, it's nothing else but what you call what-if analysis. What will happen if you are going to take certain decisions based on what? Some of the reports that is available. Right? You know that now we also talk about expert systems. The next extension of DSS is expert system. After expert system, what next? Anybody from computer science background? Yeah. You have intelligent systems. Fuzzy logic you are using today. Right? Yes. See, I am not an expert in that, but these are the extensions of DSS, ES, and fuzzy logic. Anyway. So, moving to the next part. Today we talk about more of intelligent systems. Examples are given. You have robots, computer vision, like video analytics using artificial intelligence, NLP, natural language processing, where you translate the text translator. Today, if you have Samsung good quality Samsung phone, you speak in Chinese, it will translate into English, right? They are using NLP.
What the thing prediction?
Yeah. No, the NLP is basically when you are going to translate the text, depending upon the requirement. Then you have expert system, like how you are going to manage your public transport. That is very kind of like, right?
Ticket databases and anything.
Yes.
Expert systems.
So also sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is basically a qualitative technique. You are going to analyze the text. Sentiments of the people. People collect data from Facebook, Twitter.
Sentiment of the word or the sentiment of the text.
Yeah, basically you look at the text and try to assign a code. Right? And the code is assigned to a particular theme. Suppose you have a particular theme, you want to collect qualitative data. Suppose you want to say, let's give an example. You want to collect data on customer satisfaction. So there are two ways to collect data. Either you go for qualitative data collection or quantitative data collection. And you want to know what are the factors that lead to customer satisfaction. Okay. So you want to identify what, okay, these are the factors which will, if you have these factors, so customers will be better satisfied. You provide a quality service, good quality product, reasonably priced product, right? So we will be able to.
Sentiment analysis, we can categorize the product based on the sentiments.
Yeah, that is the method of data collection. What you do in sentiment analysis is that you ask customers, why do you like this product? So they will write a sentence or a paragraph. So that is, the text is to be analyzed to identify the, what you call, the sentiments. Why they like the product, why they don't like the product. So you ask number of questions.
It's based on, we can use the reviews of the product, that's like Amazon reviews, Flipkart reviews.
Definitely. Reviews are the best example of sentiment
Yes,
analysis. When you express your review, say feelings or your behaviors, they relate to the product.
Yes, sir.
And that basically helps you to guide to buy a product.
Yes.
Amazon is using this kind of things on a regular basis. Now they have a big data. They're making use of it. But they have automated the process. The moment you write the review, it shows on the page. Right? How intelligence systems are used in business? They are using a lot of tools for decision making. Basically, it provides business intelligence to increase productivity, gain competitive advantage, right? Like customer behavior patterns, market trends, efficiency bottlenecks. Why efficiency is not improving? What are the bottlenecks based on time? See, these are some of the examples. Data mining, financial market predictions, quality control of customer services, where intelligence systems are applied. All kinds of things. See, these are some examples. These are the companies which are using, like HNC softwares predict fraud detection pattern offers 30 to 70% improvement over existing members. They are using neural networks to identify that. So you know that lot of cyber frauds happens. I remember one who works with this Barclays, and her only job is to see that all transactions that is happening, big transactions, from where it is coming, who has made the transaction, whom it has made transactions. Basically, the idea was to identify whether this money is being siphoned out to terrorist activities or not. So all foreign inflows are detected and to see that where it is going from, where it is coming. And they have a very good system. They are able to identify. And once they identify where they have a doubt, they alert it to the government. That please check this transaction before it is finalized. Like MetLife, it's an insurance company, you know about it. They use automated extraction of information from applications in data. The language technology. Personalized internet-based email listings. You use Netflix, use Amazon Prime for watching movies, right? What happens? The moment something new comes, automatically a message goes to you. We have a new movie file. This is what intelligence systems are doing today. Right? Hyundai's development apartment construction plans last time have US Occupational Safety and Health Hazard Administration. They are also using expert advisors to help identify fire and other safety hazards in the website. The source of this information is data visualization. A simple graph is also a technique of data visualization, right? See. So, data visualization is the process of translating data into easily understood visuals. These visuals could be in the form of graphs, charts, maps, plots, animations, other things. What does this show? Yes? It's a center. But what this line shows? Is a regression line. It means that things are increasing. What about this? Lot of fluctuations and then see how things are moving up. For different, it could be different categories also, right? So these are the actually what actually happens here that you can better understand this. Suppose I give you data, frequency data. I give you this. Probably you will be in a better position to understand this. For example, if you look at this pie chart, which can tell you that okay, 70%, 80% is this one, 30% is this. So this is the information that you will get. Right? Dashboards and scorecards. Is there a difference between dashboard and scorecard? See, a lot of companies are using dashboard today. Right? Dashboard is a real-time user interface visual display, presented graphically highlighting the most important information to achieve certain objectives. But scorecards basically present standard key performance indicators that help business measure the management performance. But this is not in real time. Dashboards are real time. Keep on changing. Right? And you have just one screen, single screen. Sorry. Just one screen. And all the information is consolidated. And you can monitor it, what is happening. So maybe the CEO has a dashboard and you can see what is happening in various departments. How the production is going on. What is the sales for it today. How many people are available for the work today. What is that attendance. How many people are there. All kind of information can be provided. Right? So it shows basically the current state of the trends of formations, key performance indicators, so that you can use it as a decision maker, track the status and make appropriate management decision without wasting your time. Right? Scorecards are different, as I told you. I don't know whether you heard about it or not. Balanced scorecard by Kaplan, Robert Kaplan, where they have certain criteria, financial is one of them. Have you heard about balanced scorecard? Please read about it. So basically, where you have certain areas where you can see how things are going on in those areas. Right? Let me give an example. See, this is an example of a dashboard. So this is showing the sales region wise. This is showing the service lines related to different products they have. CRM, BI, ERP, SAP. This is showing the sales for the last 5 weeks. How it is happening. This is the cumulative sales, and this is the number of clients. So it is going to help the boss in the sales to see what is happening. Right? This is basically scorecard, which shows basically for one particular year, for all regions, what is the sales target. Sales target, actual versus target sales. See what is happening. Where is the target? What is the quarterly sales performance of different regions? Based on geography, you can see what is happening. Where is the shortfall? And that is going to help you to take a decision what is to be done. For example, to find out that okay, these areas, certain areas like Asia, is good, but America and Europe, there is a shortfall of 15 to 17%. Means that you need to focus on these two areas. Right? Why sales performance is good. So this will provide you data and in a visual form to see that what is happening. These are some of the techniques. I think I am not going to discuss them, just giving a list of these techniques which will be discussed by your other colleagues putting statistics from ISI and business. These are descriptive techniques, descriptive and diagnostic techniques, and these predictive and descriptives. SQL, Oracle, Hadoop, Tableau must have heard about it. QuickView, MS Access, R, Python. These are programs, software programs for statistical tools. Like we use this SAS and R. Then Python can be used if you have good knowledge of it. When in Excel, MS Excel, people use Python. Then descriptives, we have SAS, R, SPSS. Actually, most of us use SPSS for data analysis. Python. We have optimization tools. Simulation tools are there, machine learning tools are there. This is not exhaustive list. Basically, these are some examples of certain tools that can be used for both descriptive as well as diagnostics, and also predictive and descriptive. How many of them you know and use it? Yeah, let me see. Some of you might be using SPSS. No. So how you manage data? SPSS is first for all of us to know. Statistical package for social sciences. Are you using R?
Yes, sir.
R is an open source software, right? But SPSS is better than R in certain sense. To feed the data and follow certain commands, you get now. R also happens. SAS, which is most of the people from economics use SAS instead of say SPSS, right? So these are some of the tools and techniques that we can use for data analysis. Mostly softwares. But it is not important that you know how to make use of it. What is more important is that why you are using that. Right? So when you are going to use t-test and when you are going to use ANOVA, give me a simple example. When you are going to use analysis of variance and when you are going to use t-test.
Sir, we will be using a t-test when there are only two variables.
Two variables or two categories?
Sorry, two categories.
Two variables.
For example, you have data from male and female, and you want to see whether there is significant difference between the male and female on certain variables. Right? Say suppose you collect this data on intelligence, on male and female, and you want to see the difference who is more intelligent, male and female. Right? So you are giving them intelligence test. Based on the score, you want to see the difference, significant difference in the mean score of the male and the female. And based on that, you can say that okay, at least for this group, male are more important, female. But if you go in two categories of data, then you go for analysis of variance. For example, you also have transgenders added to that and collected data from them. Then t-test is not going to. If you want to use t-test, then you have to calculate three kinds of t-test: male to female, female to transgender, and then male to transgender. But if you use analysis of variance, then it is good for you. Right? So what I am trying to tell you that using software is one thing. Why you are using any statistical tools? What kind of objective it is going to fulfill for you is more important. Right? I have seen many students, what they do, they just copy that output in their cases. And when I ask them, okay, you have calculated R and you also have calculated multiply, say two things. Very simple example. I say, okay, you have calculated R, capital R, and you have also calculated this was the correlation between two variables. What does this mean? They have say adjusted R square. But how to interpret this in the regression analysis? What does it mean? And why you have calculated this? So these are more important things for you to understand. There is a very good book by Andy Field on using say statistics for using this spaces for data analysis. Okay, I think I have a copy. I will forward it to Jatama. It's a very good book in the sense that actually it's kind of manual which can help you to analyze data using SPSS. Andy Field, ANDYFIELD. Statistical analysis using SPSS. Anyway, so let me move further. So this is basically the hierarchy. That is what I have been talking about. See, we have been talking about data, information, knowledge, and wisdom are intelligence. See how it is going on. We also talked about raw data to finally moving to the optimization techniques. So it is more transactional and that is transformative. Actually, this kind of analysis helps you to take better decisions. Like your raw data, created standard reports or ad hoc reports using OLAP, and then you are moving to predictive model. Okay. So if you look at it in terms of ROI, return on investment, as you move from data to better models, definitely you have better return on investment in data analysis. It's basically like it has been compared with the brain. Okay. You know, brain has two parts, the left and right. So which one is analytical and which one is the brain? Left brain is more cognitive, thinking, decision making, and right brain is more into analytical, creative brain. Right? So it has been compared with this one. Right? So two types of softwares are like brains of two halves. Okay? So that is why it is written breathing, blinking, and digesting. This is thinking and decision. What is the benefit? So you can have better ROI using the automation when you are going for using intelligent systems. You have more actionable thoughts and understanding. It can help you to reduce uncertainty in the business and you can better manage the risk. You take more intelligent and tested decisions depending upon what kind of tools you are using. Right? If you are using intelligent tools, it actually helps you to aid in better decisions. Right? For example, if you are going for predictive modeling, optimization techniques, or even you are using AI in analytics also. Right? See. So there is a slight difference that's what I actually wanted to talk about between business analytics and data analytics. Though your course is on business analytics, so see what is the difference between the two. So which one is better, data analytics or business analytics? Business analytics. Business analytics. Because that is going to help you in basically to optimize your decisions, plans, performance, right? Compared to data analytics. Because mostly data analytic techniques are either descriptive or diagnostics. To some extent it is predictive, not predictive. Or basically forecast what can happen. What is there, right? What has happened, why it is there and what can happen. After that data analytics does not. You can use optimization techniques and other kind of things only when you are going for this kind of things. Because the data source is identified, where it is ad hoc, okay? It involves defining the goals and requirements of the program or the projects. Why you are doing it? And who makes use of this? Basically, Chief Information Officer, Chief Development Officer, Analytics Managers, Data Warehouse Engineers. And this is used by line managers, business managers and others. So what are the risks? Look at some of the points. Fear of loss of power and decentralized decision rights. One dashboard, the CEO is looking at everything and he is deciding what is to be done. Down the line, it's not there. Confirmation bias, interpreting results to confirm preconceptions. You have some presupposed idea and you are using the data to confirm that. Don't go for confirmatory analysis, go for exploratory analysis. Okay. For example, you know, okay, these are the factors because of which this implies not. And you are collecting data just to confirm that. It may not be correct. Lack of analytical talent. If you don't know how to analyze it, should be good in statistics. Let me tell you very clearly, if you are not good in statistics, don't think about being a data analyst. Right? Thinking small or target approach. No, that does not work. You have to think about the future on a sustainable basis. That how your businesses can compete in the long run. Right? Lack of leadership in business.
What is target of that?
Target means that okay, one bottleneck is there, so you cross it. Now things are going to be better. It's a kind of bottleneck. What happens at the target? You are stopped. You do something and then move ahead. You pay the price and then move ahead. Again, there will be a target that you have to cross. So in businesses, there could be a number of targets, right? So make sure that there are no targets. You be sustainable, you be competitive on a continuous basis. And that is where you are going to use these kind of things. Lack of leadership in willpower. If management is not interested in these things, nothing can be done. You can do one thing and wrong and fail. You have to do many things correct to succeed. Means that you need to adopt not just a single approach. Don't be A thinker who is conversant. Go for divergent approach, means adopt different approaches. Right? A problem can be solved using multiple approaches. Just don't stick on one particular approach, because that phase nothing is going to happen. So think of alternatives. That is the part. For example, you know the sales is going down and you have taken a corrective measure, but it did not work. Then you stop. Are you going to stop, or are you going to take some alternative measures? Think of other factors, other things which are going to help you. Right? These are some, I'm going to take some of the examples. Now, businesses starting using data analytics. You know about most of these companies, right? Amazon. They're using data extensively because they use data, what you call big data. Millions of customers across the world, right? How they are using. Two things which they are using. The data analytics is for dynamic pricing and product recommendations. If you are subscribing Amazon, every day you are getting some mail, some WhatsApp messages, right? Recommending products, asking you to review. And you also know that the price is dynamic, it is not going to be the same. For the same product, it changes. Yeah. Every day it changes. Depending upon the data and feedback that they are getting from the customers. If it is in a high demand, they keep on increasing the price. Now, the best example of predictive analytics is, you know, airlines. They are using predictive analytics. Dynamic fare pricing. Right? If you are clicking on a particular route to buy a ticket, air ticket, and if you click it for 3 times, you know the price will go up. This is the magic of predictive analytics. Dynamic pricing. Railways are also using some of the trades. So this is dynamic pricing basically changes the pricing up to 2.5 million times a day. It depends upon shopping patterns, competitors' price, and whether the product is a common one or not. Product recommendations using data, they can learn what each customer wants and likes and can recommend that same product or similar ones to them in the return to the shop. See, the benefit is annual increase in sales by 30%. So see how data analytics is used by companies. Most of this is automatic. And the result. Netflix. It does not actually exist in the physical world. It's a virtual company. Right? It's the biggest online platform for streaming movies, TV shows, and it owes its success to big data. They collect data as such as the time during which the subscribers watch the show, if they faint, watch or it took them one time to finish, did they pause the show or if they resumed it after pausing. They collect all data automatically. For example, I am watching a movie at home. So suppose I have watched for half an hour. Okay? Now so lunch time, so what I will do? I will pause it. Go for they see that whether I come back and again watch it or not.
So same as for Amazon Prime.
Yes, Amazon Prime is very same.
Because Amazon have a huge data set more than Netflix.
Yes, Amazon Prime has a huge data set. They have a lot of it is more, see both of them work on similar
Things.
the operations process is more or less similar actually.
Yes, sir.
Right? And they also create personalized accounts for each customer, depending upon what they like, what kind of shows they want. And then they will display only those kind of things which you like, depending on whether you like comics, comedies, serials, movies.
They recommend the customer that
Yes. They are using big data and their company. Transportation. See how Uber is using. Again a mutual company. right? It stores data for every trip taken with or without customers. Also looks at the way transportation is done. It's providing faster rides using data. It's known for ride-hailing algorithm that promises real-time information about the drivers in the vicinity. You know where the driver is also located, how much time it will take you to reach. All kind of data is available. Okay. So basically, they have used business analytics by developing. This is the software that is developing customer obsession ticket assistant. Quota. You know that they have also diversified and expanded into another business. You know that? What is that? Food. Yeah, Uber Eats, which is known as Uber Eats, EATS. And they have been able to deliver hot food well in time using their drivers. Food delivery. They have also extended to food delivery. McDonald's. These are common examples that I am taking here. What is happening? The trend has changed. Okay, from eating more fatty, right? Junk food, people are moving to more healthy foods now. And McDonald's has moved to that. I don't know whether anyone of you have seen that movie, Super Size Me. Search in the Google, you can find it out. It's a movie about McDonald's where one person continuously took McDonald's junk food for a month, and then he showed them how it is going to affect his health. What happened? He did not have any problem. Then he had heart related issues, blood pressure, sugar, all kinds of problems. And then he showed it to everybody. And actually, the company was forced to move to more healthy foods. Okay. So what actually happens that because of the rising of the trend of healthy living and using online ordering, fast food restaurants were posed with a problem. So what they did, turn to the data they collect from over the years, they wanted to transition from mass marketing to mass customization. Right? McDonald's actually in India they started delivering waste food also. Earlier it was not there. So you get McDonald's, which is a vegetarian food. But anyways, other countries they don't sell this kind of things. So they have gone for customization of the product depending upon the taste of the customers. So they basically the two things that they are doing: drive-through and instant noodles. Another example. What is that? Starbucks. Very good coffee, right? No, bit expensive, but it is good. Isn't it? Bit expensive. So they are using big data to create better customer experience. They have reward programs, mobile apps to learn more about the buying habits of the customers. Use the data to recommend products to loyal customers, create better marketing campaigns and new menus, and build awareness. For all these activities, they are using data. So, actuator. Okay. We all have in our mobile apps to find out what is the temperature, right? That is provided by the actuator. They are using this data. Temperatures. Providing services. Because businesses also need this kind of weather related data. Okay. So they created online platform for developers where they could purchase API keys, right, related to weather, and implement them in their own products and businesses. So it's a B2B. Basically, they are selling this information to the businesses. Moving to the last part of my lecture. How data science is related to what you call AI. In science we talk about big data. You can see here data, analytics, business analytics, statistics. There's a range of data sets. We also use AI, intelligent systems like machine learning, neural networks, deep learning to create more insights. So you can say that artificial intelligence and these kind of things are a step ahead to the movement from data analytics, right? To be better in terms of taking decisions. How AI is being used in data analytics? So if you have small data you can analyze, but if you have large data sets, see why you are using software, computer software, so we can analyze data, big data, right, in minutes. So AI in data analytics is the application of artificial intelligence to analyze large set of data. It allows data analysts and scientists to uncover trends and gain insight into the behavior of consumers or other data sets. So they use powerful machine learning algorithms. It can also help make sense of massive amounts of information more quickly and accurately. So accuracy and speed is very important here. How are you using it? We generate codes and debug errors in data analysis, like visualizing large data sets, building machine learning models. These are some of the tools that can be used, like Anova Assistant, Jupyter AI, GitHub. These are used for codes, generating codes. How are you using it? Again, to explain analysis and get insights. Like you know that Tableau is a data analytics tool, but when you add GPT, it becomes AI tool. Right? So Tableau GPT, you can quickly explain a specific data point on a chart, how it is behaving, right? And you can get better insights. See, synthetic data means you are going to synthesize different set of data into one. So you are moving from AI to what you call your synthetic data with the time. So you are getting data from different sources like artificially generated data, generated from different sources, models, simulation techniques. So this is synthetic data and this is the real data, which you get from direct measurements, but you are constrained by cost, logistics, and other things. So you are here, and gradually you are going to move to a synthetic data. What is the difference between real data and synthetic data?
Dummy data basically testing the algorithms and to provide results.
You know, today a lot of products that we have in the market are synthetic in nature.
Yes.
They are using essence only, right?
Yes.
In juices, they are using this only. I was reading a blog about the food that this real juice, they are using 40% sugar in this.
Yes.
And the essence, and very less, only 20% pulp in there. So synthetic data is going to replace real data. And how it will be collected? From different sources. They are going to create artificially generated from different sources, models, and through simulations. You see, through simulations we are using, creating pearls today, we are creating diamonds today, you know, synthetic diamonds are available in the market, which are artificially created. And you cannot make a difference because quality wise it is more or less same. So it's just like that. We are going to simulate that and get it. creating dashboards and reports also using AI techniques. And you can go for creating interactive dashboards and reports. Just select the data, go for visualization using AI, and you can make it. Right? Automated data entry from images. Various imaging techniques are used, and then that images can be converted into data. You know, we use Excel other spreadsheets, right? You can use AI to automate the process of data entry from images. Especially when you are going to collect large amount of data from images of documents, and then you can quickly enter the necessary information. In Excel, there is a feature, insert data from picture. Using computer vision on the back end, it can convert as images of tabular data into digital data sets. You save a lot of time there. So, we have talked about different kind of techniques, how AI is used. But what are the challenges that we are facing today? The most important is quality. You tell me, when you are doing PhD and collecting data for research, how good the data is? Is it reliable and valid?
No, sir. Most of the time, no.
When you do some analysis,
We have to
what
find
kind of
a
result you
data
get?
set which is suitable for
Right.
this project.
So this is the problem. Getting good quality reliable data is the big problem. Okay. Implementation cost. Then data security and privacy. This is a big issue for most organizations. Recently, you know what happened with sorry, software. Okay. Most of the businesses, especially Australia, was the most affected country. All their operations, airline operations, railways, all kind of operations were affected. In India also a lot of businesses were affected. My son who works with a particular company, he says, I did not work today because system was not. So data security and privacy is the big issue. They were able to restore within 24 hours, that's a different thing. And then skill and experience. How to analyze the data for getting insightful. This is very important. These are the barriers. Technical barriers which are related to IT issue and problem solving. Like crowd strike, but which was a technical barrier, right? Perception barriers. Where you have complex data and you see whether you can afford to do it or not. Design deficiencies. Poor measurements of other calculations and models. For example, if I use the regression model, which model is going to be used? That is very important that we have to look at. And people who are engaging in these kind of things, organizational behavior, where people are resisting to change culture and leadership. Whether those organizations allow this kind of things, but they are going to be more adaptive, progressive or not. Whether leadership is supportive in terms of providing resources to go for this kind of analytics to identify them, trends and patterns or gain certain insights. Okay. So with this, I think I will be able to finish in time. Thank you very much. If you have any questions,
Thank you, sir.
any comments, any feedback,
It's good.
any questions if you have? No?
No, sir.
Well, you should have more questions.
Because in session, ongoing session, we can ask you.
Yeah, sure. So thank you very much. I have also enjoyed. Hope that it is going to be useful. The presentations are already there. You can leave it.
Thank you.
Thank you.